Hey y'all, I'm Tammy. The cameraman is Chris, my husband, and this is Collard Valley Cooks. Today we're putting together some good old chili. Nothing better on a cold day than a warm bowl of chili. And we use bell pepper. So I'm chopping up some bell pepper. We're going to chop up a little onion. We're going to use some fresh garlic. So that's what we're prepping first. And I've got most of my pepper chopped up for y'all already. And we're just going to throw this in a little olive oil to saute. And then we're going to brown our ground beef. So I'm going to reach back here and turn my skillet on. Let it get hot for these veggies. Okay? All right, here's our onion. I don't know if it's cold where you are, but we live in South Georgia, and it's not near as cold down here as it is where most of y'all are. But we still like a bowl of chili when the weather starts cooling off. All right, we got some fresh garlic. Let's go ahead and get this over here in the skillet. We're going to put a little olive oil in our skillet. And get our veggies going. While we're doing that, I'll show y'all what goes in our chili. We'll go ahead and put it over here in the pot. I had a red pepper that we had gotten out of the garden, so it's kind of red and green. So if you're wondering why it looks a little odd in color, that's why. Because it didn't come from the store. So it's kind of pretty. Multicolored, really. Getting it all. Okie dokie. So we'll just start letting that get soft. Looks good. Got a couple of big pieces I missed. And once they cook down, it wouldn't matter. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to start opening up my cans and getting them in the pot. This recipe is in our Volume 1 cookbook. It's a staple recipe when you can't live without chili. Okay? I guarantee you if you make it, you'll love it. This is Chris's favorite recipe. As soon as I made this recipe, he was like, don't ever make another one. Always use that one and don't alter it. And I said, okay. So we're going to use 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Now I think I'm going to put my cans in here before I put my powders in here. So we're going to use 2 cans of diced tomatoes. We're going to use a can of black beans. Now if you don't like black beans, of course substitute them with something you do like. We're going to use 2 16-ounce cans of kidney beans. And it says 8 ounces of tomato sauce, but I may just go ahead and add it all today because I didn't have a small can and I hate to waste it. So we're going to open these with my handy dandy can opener and get them in here. 2 cans of diced tomatoes going in. Kidney beans, 2 cans of kidney beans. And we don't drain them or anything. Now, if you like this can opener, I sure love it. You can go to our website, go to www.collardvalleycooks.com, go up to the top and hit Shop Kitchen. And I believe it's under our top sellers, but if it's not, if you can't find it, look under must-haves. And you're going to find it there. It was on sale the other day. Boy, it is amazing. I love it. It sure is easy on you if you have arthritis. A lot easier to open a can with this than it is the other kind. Black beans. And then the tomato sauce. And it says 8 ounces of tomato sauce, but I'm going to put in a can today. Now we've got a browner ground beef. And this is going to cook so long in this pot. I'm not even sure why I tell you to saute your vegetables, because for heaven's sakes, they're going to be in a pot of juice for hours, you know. So we're going to get these in there and add our ground beef to this and let it start to brown. And you definitely want to drain all that fat off of your ground beef. We're going to get it in here. And this is just about a pound. You can use a pound, pound and a half. It's just up to you how much meat you want in it. I've got a recipe for what I call man chili, and it's just a lot of meat in the chili. I've got a recipe for what we call, what's the chili we made, Chris, that's from Texas that they don't have beans in it? Oh, chili con carne. We have a recipe for that in our cookbooks. And we also have a recipe for white chili. Okay? So, and I believe it's, you use chicken for it. So there's a lot of different recipes for chili. So maybe we'll attach more than one recipe for chili to this. All right, we're going to do a teaspoon of basil and a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and then we need 3 tablespoons of chili powder. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic. So let's get us some garlic. Get these in there. And that's all there is to it. We're going to brown this ground beef and get it in there, and then you're just going to simmer it. All right, we got this stuff brown, and we're going to get some of the grease off of it. So, what to do with my spoon? I'm just going to push this over to the side so that I can drain some of this grease. I just use paper towels. And that way I can just throw them in the trash. Because you definitely don't want this down your drain. Down your sink. Okay? So if you get you some paper towels, get you some tongs. Don't touch it because it's hot. And then flip it back over. And tilt it so that it runs down in that paper towel good. And it's easy to throw away. We're going to add our beef into here. We're going to mix this up really good. Turn it on low. And in a few hours, we're going to have a good chili supper. Looks good already. It's colorful. It's got the black beans. It's got the light beans. It's got the green from the pepper. It's a real pretty chili. Our chili is ready. Chris really likes oyster crackers. And my favorite are these premium tiny crackers. Oh my gosh, they taste so buttery, y'all. If you never bought them, they're real buttery tasting. It has been simmering most of the day. And it's ready to eat. And it's hot. So we didn't have to add any water or anything to it. All you got to do is simmer it. And it's a little bit thinner than it normally is because I used that extra um, sauce, I guess. And if you like cheese or sour cream or whatever you like in your chili, then you would add it to it. There's a real pretty chili. So get you some good sweet tea. You can put sour cream in it and cheese if you want to. This chili's so good you don't even need all that. But, of course, put it in there if that's what you like. Or you know what else you can do? You can make our cheesy cheddar biscuits to go with it. They're really good with it. Mm-mm-mm. It's hard to beat my chili. If you don't believe, give it a try. A lot of people like, everybody's got a chili recipe. Well, try Tammy's. This winter, when you're getting ready to make something hearty and comfort food, give our chili a try. You're going to love it. And Chris is going to make another kind and post to this so that you get to see one more, at least one more kind of chili. All right?
Okay, guys, it's Chris. I'm here for the second chili that we are making. This is in our volume 2, and it is called man chili or double meat chili. Okay, this one has twice the meat, and it's a little bit different than our the first chili that we showed you. So let's get some prep work in here. Okay, the first thing I need to do is I have some stew meat that I'm going to get some flour on. Okay, so I'm going to dump out the stew meat, and you can use a roast, you can use stew meat, anything like that. I've got about a half a cup of flour. I'm going to dump that out here, and I want to kind of coat all of this meat in that flour, but I want this coated as well as I can get it coated. Okay, and I need like pretty much the size of a whole bell pepper. All of these little peppers right here should be enough. Okay, have to have a whole onion and some cloves of garlic. It says 4 cloves of garlic, 4 large cloves. I think that'll be enough right there. So, got to get through all of these. And we'll take this whole onion. Okay, so I got my garlic peeled, got my onions and my peppers. I'm going to saute these. All right, I got some ground beef that I have already browned. I'm going to put it aside. Over here, it was 90-10, so there's not too much grease in there. All right, I'm going to get my vegetables in here and saute those. I haven't cooked in a while on the channel. Although I will say, and I don't mean to brag, I did have a lady say that I was the Bob Ross of the kitchen. The Bob Ross of the kitchen. Which I took, you know, as a pretty big compliment. I really did. Now, I've got these all different shapes and sizes and stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't mind that, especially with chili. I like to have different size chunks of tomatoes, and you know, we've got several different kind of tomatoes we put in here, and I like to have different size chunks of onion and all that kind of stuff. So I don't cut them all up to the same size. I could, because I am, you know, the Bob Ross of the kitchen, according to some people. Not, you know, not everybody, but some people. And you you know, my hair. It's probably my hair that makes them feel that way. I don't know. I didn't ask why. I just assumed it was the hair. So while that's sauteing, I do have a couple of cans over here I can be opening. That way when it comes can time, I'm going to be ready. Be ready. There's so many ways to make chili. And they're all good. I hadn't found really too many chili recipes that I wasn't kind of fond of. Lost an onion back there. Lost onion. The story of the lost onion. Have y'all heard that story? when, I, when my kids were little, Lord, I'd make up the craziest stories. The story of the lost onion could have been one. I'm good at making stuff up on the fly. Some people call that lying, but I prefer making stuff up on the fly. And I have rescued the lost onion. I just did it. Once upon a time, there was a lost onion. He missed his onion mama and his onion daddy. And he wanted to go back home to his onion house. See, y'all are interested. Y'all want to know what happens next, don't you? See how easy that is? Just make it up as you go. Kind of like cooking, just make it up as you go. People ask us stuff all the time like, what does this ingredient do? Or what does this, why do you add this? And why do you add that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just following directions. I'm good at following directions. You give me a recipe and you give me some reasonable directions and I'm good to go. I am good to go. I will do what you say. All right, here we go. It's about to be make it happen captain time. This is a non-stick pan. This is a pan that Tammy uses to make her green beans in, her secret granny green bean recipe. All right. All right, I'm gonna put this stew meat in here. Or, like I said, you could use a roast, anything like that. If you wanted to cut up a roast, if you had kind of a cheap roast or something, or an expensive roast, whatever. You do you. And I'm going to brown these to the best of my ability. All right, while that's happening, I can take these little garlic cloves and crush them. You know what they say about idle hands. So I'm going to stay busy. Now, if you're from Texas, you can stop watching right now. This could be your time to stop watching because we're going to put beans in our chili. I love beans and chili. You want to get a good scolding, go on one of these Texas chili sites. Throw up a recipe with beans in it. See what happens. But you know what? If beans didn't go in chili, why, when I go down to the store, are there beans in the chili can, in the cans of chili? I don't know. Tammy would be using tongs and turning every little piece of this meat. All right, I don't have that all seared exactly perfectly, but you know what? It's chili. You can't mess up chili. If you mess up chili, I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you. All right, so what I'm going to start doing is adding in everything else. Right, I'm going to start adding in the beans and the tomatoes and the tomatoes and the tomatoes. We add in a ton of tomatoes. All right, we add 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Tomato sauce, crushed tomatoes, black beans, 2 cans of kidney beans. Guys, this has never happened before. This is not going to fit. This is not going to fit. What am I going to do? Everybody calm down. Pam, I am a problem solver. At least I'm about to be. Here we go. Okay. We're okay, guys. We survived. We survived that emergency. I think somebody that wrote this recipe, and y'all know who it is, should have told me that was going to happen. All right, 1 can of pinto beans, the meat, the ground beef. There it goes. The vegetables. 2 tablespoons of basil, freeze-dried basil. I know not many people put basil in their chili, but we do. 1, 2. And it doesn't make any kind of weird taste or anything. It's good. Teaspoon black pepper. Wait a minute. That's not black pepper. Ain't fool me. I know the difference between pepper and salt. All right. Teaspoon of black pepper. 2 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 6 tablespoons. 1 of chili powder. 6. We don't put cumin in it. Most chili powders, a lot of them have cumin in them anyway, so we don't add any cumin. Now that makes a very colorful chili. But there's one more thing, guys. There's one more thing to put in. And this is the secret sauce. We add a 1/2 cup of ketchup. Chris, does that matter? I don't know. All I know is we add 1/2 cup of ketchup. All right, we've got that going. It says to cook on low heat for 4 hours or more, stirring occasionally to prevent sticking. Add hot sauce and diced chilies if desired. See, this is chili, so if you're like, well, I like cumin in my, well, throw some cumin, put some cumin in there. Or I like jalapenos, put some jalapenos in there. Put anything in there you like. This is our basic man 2-meat chili. So I'll see you when it gets done. All right, the chili has been heating up all day and cooking all day. So let's take a look at it. Now this makes a whole lot more chili, obviously, than Tammy's first recipe that we had on here. I was telling her I should have cut up some of these pieces of meat, but it's almost like a stew with all those big chunks in it. It's very hot. It's hot enough that it's burning my fingers underneath the bowl. So before I put this in my mouth, let's be careful. Be careful out there. It's got a lot of flavor. That's really good. It really tastes, it's a little bit different than our other one, but it's got basically the same flavor. It's got a lot of meat in it. Really great for a ball game, if you're having a crowd. I got to feed the fishing club this month coming up, so I'll probably freeze a bunch of this, and those guys will get some of this chili at the club because it's my turn to cook. So this is a great thing for the fall, great thing, for, like I said, for ball games. Y'all will really enjoy it. Thanks for watching Colorado Valley Cooks, guys.